What does that say to you if you've been watching me for a while? Well, either I got a big donation of CDs in, or I made a buy, and look at that box of CDs, or I have finally been able to get through everything, donations, trades, buys in the store, and now I'm finally digging into my penultimate Gaylord or pallet of CDs. As you can see, I've made a dent. It's a little easier to see from over here. See, there's a bit of a dent, a small one. Oops. I've taken 2 boxes out of this pallet, or Gaylord. And that's what I'm doing today, and that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. And then when my store is open on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, I'll be doing the same thing unless someone brings me more stuff, which has been happening every week, thankfully. And if that happens, that's great. But I am going to be working hard to get through this so that I can be done. But of course, it's going to take time. And as I'm just starting to dig through it, I'm remembering how daunting it is to go through just one pallet of CDs. When it's only CDs, it's much harder than when it's mixed media. Because CDs are, especially these, have been scanned for FBA, which I've told you guys before. So people, they don't sell, those people did not sell merchant fulfilled, Amazon merchant fulfilled, and they did not sell on eBay. So all of this stuff has still not been, they weren't looking to sell it merchant fulfilled, which I always find stuff in here for that. And neither eBay, so I always find stuff that I can sell individually, or there's some sets and whatnot. Same artist, the type of thing that I come across that I can put together on eBay and form a lot. But most of them end up going into my store. As you can see behind here, I've got all my CDs up for sale. So that's where most of them end up heading, and I need to sort through them. But I do get a decent amount, more for eBay than for Amazon, though. But they do take longer than DVDs, video games, audiobooks, even VHS tapes, because there's just more of them. So there's more that I don't know. If I was only, I don't know what the genre is, that kind of thing. I have to look up a lot of them. If I was not selling locally in my store, then if I was only doing Amazon or eBay or just Amazon, then a lot of these would just get either thrown away or, recycled, that kind of thing. Or they just pull the discs and sell them as lots. Either do it by genre or do loose discs, whatever it is. But individual or Gaylords of just CDs do take some time. And most of them do have barcodes, there are some that don't. And of course, those take a little bit longer. There's other ones that are foreign language, like this one, which I believe it's Vietnamese. I've seen enough of them that I believe that's it. So there's a good amount of Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, and there's always some Spanish as well. But typically the Spanish ones have barcodes, but not always. So it can take a little bit of time, so be aware of that. It's actually better, I think, to get mixed media if you're reselling online or locally, but just have the variety, and it's a bit quicker to get through. So that's what I've said in the past. What I'm sticking to going forward is, if I'm going to buy Gaylords of media, non-book media, it's going to be mixed media, and it's harder to find anybody that has only CDs. Typically, that's someone that has sorted through a bunch of other mixed media Gaylords and threw all the CDs together and just sold them off. Also, I'm looking to get non-scanned palettes so that they still have, the best stuff in there in terms of, the CDs that are valuable to sell on Amazon or eBay, or ones that I can put, in my store as well. A lot of those that make money for people online will sell in my store if they're super popular, which I prefer to do. I prefer to sell as much as possible in my store than in my retail store than to sell it online. But I know that I don't have the reach clearly that either Amazon or eBay does, and especially together that they have. So, but I've built up some clients, customers repeat customers who come in and they look for certain things. So that works out well, and that's going to continue to grow the longer I stay open, because each week there's always some new people coming in. But that's a side note. Also in here, there's a good amount of audiobooks mixed in, which is always fun because I do find some I can sell online. And I do put some audiobooks in my store as well. So that's where I, excuse me, that's where I am right now. I've been able to, get through everything. So, excuse me, I have some boxes of books back here that I'm selling locally, kids books, but those 2 boxes are online, different sets, lots, and then all of those CDs, like these here, those 2 are to sell in my store, back stock. That's all, what do you call it? Different Asian language CDs that I'm going to go through. And then those are, that's a classical CD lot that I'm building. And that's a sort of, I call it like a curated popular music, popular groups, a CD lot essentially that I sell on eBay. I might put it locally, but I've sold it a bunch of times, that kind of stuff on eBay as well. But yeah, everything's, I've gone through everything. I have nothing. I still have some records that I haven't sorted through, but I have enough backstock of records that I don't need to focus on that, and that's not in the way like these Gaylords are, which has been the big pain, is moving them in and out. Because of my store, I get in a decent amount each week. Always varies, and sometimes I'll get a big donation of items, and it'll take some time to get through that. Like I had those 16 boxes of books, and that took some time. So now I'm down to 3 Gaylords, only 2 of which actually have any media. The other one is just one that I use to store mostly boxes and some other stuff in there, and to have a Gaylord in case I need it. And so, yeah, so the idea is that once I get through these, that I will then, I will start doing some mixed media Gaylords, so that I can get through those quicker, because it takes a while to get through CD only Gaylords or palettes, but I can get through a mixed media palette much quicker, because CDs are only going to be, in here it can be as many as like 2,000 CDs, sometimes even more if it's completely full. Like this one was only full, up to here, but if it's overflowing, you could be up to 2,200, maybe even more. Roughly around 1,800 to 2,000 is kind of, maybe 1,500 on the low end if they haven't completely filled it. But if it's pretty full, it's going to be about 2,000 or plus CDs, which is just a lot to go through for me, for one media, considering I do sell locally. It does make a difference for me when I am able to go through it, check the discs, put them in the right genre, that kind of thing, organize them, replace cases. That all takes time. But it does pay off because I do have a nice selection of CDs, and I sell a good amount of CDs each week. So it's beneficial to me, and it helps my reputation as a music store, that kind of thing. But it's enough CDs in a mixed media Gaylord. I don't need just one media. So that's why it makes more sense for me to have a variety. Also, there tends to be cool stuff in there, like video games, like some great DVDs that you can find, individual DVDs, some sets, that kind of thing. And yeah, so, also there can be some VHS tapes in there. Hopefully it's not too heavy on VHS tapes, but a few, some sprinkled out around are good. I always find some good audiobooks, and it's just a lot quicker to get through. It makes more sense for my business. So when I get mixed media Gaylords, I'll be able to literally sort through the whole thing within about 2 or 3 hours, if not less, by myself, versus this, where, I could technically get through this in a couple of hours, but the problem is that it takes so much longer to go through just CDs, that then I have all of those piled up everywhere. And what I mean by sort, I don't mean just put them in boxes. I could do that as well, but to actually put aside the ones that, like I do over here, the ones that I know I'm just gonna pull the discs, like this whole, wait, which one is it? Oh, no, this whole stack here is, I'm just gonna pull the discs on, and then I just sort them out. I'm gonna scan, and then I have other, put in the store, put in the curated one, all the different kinds. And then I just go through that of different genres that I'm going to go through. So that kind of thing. All right, guys, just want to check in with you, let you know what's going on. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.